Hi. Said SUMARI Dark Arts, back once again, video 116. Alright, let's get it. Look, Laxton Smith, I'm holding the camera, well I'm holding the iPad, so I'm trying not to move around too much. Gotta sit here stable and not get you guys sick. But Laxton Smith had a good point. How long can you astral travel for? There really is no time limit, guys. There really isn't. See, the thing is, right, sometimes you may have an experience where it may seem like you could take a nap, and that nap could be like 5 minutes, and in those 5 minutes a lot of things could happen. You could travel halfway across the multiverse, the omniverse, the universe, whatever you want to call it, wherever you want to go, and you could feel like you had weeks or days. You could experience days within moments, years within seconds. It really is up to you guys. Now, if your question is how long can you actually travel in terms of physical time, once again, there are no limits. It really depends on, see, it doesn't really matter on what's happening here on the physical side, right? What matters is what's happening in your non-physical state. A person, a lot of people think that if I astral travel in the physical realm, and if I've been, just say, unconscious or non-awake for 3 hours, that means I'm traveling for exactly 3 hours. No, it doesn't work that way. You could travel 3 years within a 5-minute experience of non-physical reality. It really is about how far your mind can go. You're not going to get more than you can handle. I talked about in a past video a long time ago where I experienced a year within, I don't remember what I wrote down. It was a video I went in, but it was basically within one dream sequence, so-called dream sequence that I experienced, I think a year or something like that. I don't remember. It doesn't really matter to me now to have the specifics of what happened. All I know is that it was a long experience. She's cute. Anyway, yeah, it was just a matter of, it doesn't really matter on how long was I asleep in the physical realm. What matters is the experience that I had while I was in the non-physical. And like I said, you can experience. Time is not really a thing, guys. Like, we've been over this a lot of times. Time is not a thing. It's all about the experience that you pull from these experiences, So it's like an individual can experience eternity in a moment. But what does that mean to experience eternity in a moment? What is eternity? All this stuff is subjective, man. No one can really tell you what it means. Like, what is eternity? Like, what does that mean? We have no concept of what eternity is. We have these experiences, right? And we do say at times, like, oh, I experienced eternity, I went on a body, and I felt all of infinity at once. But what does that really mean? I mean, it's always subjective, right? No one can really tell you or give you the feeling, this is what infinity feels like. If you are trapped in a room with no lights and no sound, and let's say you were trapped in there for 24 hours and you have no clue of what's going on or what time it is or what time of day or how long you're going to be in there, that's an eternity. That could be infinity, depending on what your mind state is, your state of mind. So I've talked about meditating in the past, how you could, scratch my elbow. You could, when you meditate, right, you could calculate mentally on how much time you have. So you could easily say, all right, I've been meditating, that's been about 5 minutes, that's been about 10 minutes. But there's gonna come a point where, man, the camera's going on sideways. There's gonna come a point where you lose track of time. Usually around the, what would I say? I don't know, I would say maybe around, it's different for everybody. It could be within the 2 hour, 3 hour point. But there's gonna come a point where you're going to lose consciousness. Well, not lose consciousness, not lose consciousness, but you're going to, how do I say, lose track of time. Physical time anyway. It starts to phase out at some point. So, well, I'm making a video now, and you got all these cute women passing by. Nobody was here earlier and I was sitting down. All of a sudden, everybody's creeping around, coming around. Could it be the power that I possess? At least I like to think so. Anyway, so yeah, you could lose track of time at some point, physical time, and time starts to become meaningless. Become meaningless. It means nothing at some point. And it really is, you should start going to these other realms. But anyway, so how long can you astral travel? How long can you project? It really is up to you, man. But don't have these like Hollywood ideas that you're gonna, sit down for 1 hour, or you're gonna go into a trance and then you're traveling for 1 week of physical time. I mean, you need to move around, guys. Muscle atrophy is a thing. If you don't move, you get weak. So don't worry about. Yeah, that was the other part of his question. Can you astral travel too much? There's no such thing as astral traveling too much, guys. There is a thing as you focusing too much on astral traveling. See, that's a difference. Astral traveling too much and focusing too much on astral traveling. There's no such thing as astral traveling too much. You travel as much as you can. If you could do it every night, and you can meditate and go into these states and travel, you could do whatever you can do. Hey, but focusing too much on it, it does come a point where some people might get a bit obsessive, where every second you're just thinking about, I want to astral travel, I want to astral travel, I want to project these other realities. And this is what I said, it's not about escapism, guys. All this stuff that we talk about is not about escaping physical reality. You're supposed to be enjoying physical reality, man. You're supposed to be enjoying yourself, going out, dating, having a good time, doing whatever it is that gives you pleasure, as long as it's not hurting anybody or yourself. That's what it's all about. But all this other stuff is just, it's not even, I won't say secondary, it's supposed to exist, supposed to coexist with one another, enjoying the physical and the non-physical simultaneously. And if you can enjoy the physical, if you enjoy physical life, you should have no problem then enjoying non-physical reality. And if you enjoy non-physical reality, that should be expanding upon and brightening up more of your physical life. It shouldn't be where you have this amazing non-physical experience every day, but then you hate physical life. We all know that this reality on this one earth, out of an infinite number of others, yeah, it could be bullshit for a lot of people. I mean, that's just how it is for some people, man. They hate their lives, they hate what they're going through, but it doesn't have to be that way. It really is up to you to decide how you want to live your life. And it's easy to put the blame on other people, saying, oh, well, my life is like this because back in 1985, my mother caught me masturbating in the closet and nothing was ever the same after that. And she ridiculed me. And, these are just random thoughts, man. But these are things that people say that, they can say, my life is like this because of that. You have some other things that's even more crazy. I mean, there's nothing more crazy than your mother catching you masturbating in the closet. But, I mean, that's one thing that could happen. But it could be a lot of things, Language, guys, it's just language. See, I know some people might be, thumbs down, he said masturbating in the closet. It's just language, guys. It's just language. Don't take it too seriously. We're just talking. We're having a conversation. But, other people will be like, oh, well, this person said this to me, back 10 years ago, and I'll never forgive them for what they said. And they hold that grudge. And they go on like that every day with this grudge. And it's stupid and pointless. And just wasting pointless energy being spread out across wherever, man. So, enjoy life, but also enjoy your non-physical life. You're supposed to be doing both. Now, I talk a lot about consciousness, I talk a lot about dreams, but, I want to start touching on some other issues too. Latchner Smith talked about junkies and drug addiction. And, yeah, guys, look, I grew up in New York City, and his physical life, and the Bronx, in case people want to, New York where? The Bronx. And, growing up in the 80s, you've seen it all. You've seen crackheads, you've seen junkies, you've seen prostitutes, you just see it all, man, and we've all had family members at some point who were alcoholics or possibly crackheads, junkies, whatever term you want to use, but we've all had people in these areas, man, sometimes in our lives. If you haven't, good for you. But it's a reality, it's just a reality that we can't escape, and we have to acknowledge it. And Latchner Smith made a good point that life becomes difficult. We should have systems or some kind of thing, way to support each other. And you're right, life does get hard, when you don't have, see, this is why spirituality, if you want to call it that, or expanding your consciousness, all these things are connected, man. This is why when I look at politicians, they don't really mean anything to me, because it's like they're so far detached from reality, real reality. Like, they'll look at me and say, this guy's a fantasy, he's talking about dreams, and he has all these fucking powers, and he's just a low educated whatever. But at the end of the day, we have people running the world, and I don't have to get into exactly who. Oh, it's this person, it's that person. They're all the same pretty much. You have all these individuals, the less among us, running, making big decisions for large populations of people, and basically, they don't even know what they are. They don't know what they are. They don't know where they're going. They don't know where they're taking us. A lot of it is for personal gain, financial gain, or whatever their positions are at the moment. That's all they really care about. I mean, we can sit here and debate, and somebody could put, well, that's not true. What about politician so and so, and he did this or that, or she did that? End of the day, they're all the same, man. We see it over and over again. This is why people have lost interest pretty much in politics and voting in a lot of countries, because it doesn't really matter. They all do what they're going to do anyway. So I don't really get into politics. It doesn't really matter to me. What's going to happen is going to happen. Your life here is short anyway. Quite naturally, if politicians or whoever the elected leaders or officials make decisions that are very dramatic and that affect us on certain levels, then yeah, we have to stand up, we have to fight, we have to say what we have to say, and make that known. But for me personally, see, I'm on another level, man. We talked about this before. Humans, I'm not human. A lot of you are not humans also. Some of you are human because that's what you choose to be. But it doesn't have to be like that. You don't have to be like that. I'm a multi-dimensional, interdimensional, multi-dimensional. Did I say that twice? I think I did. Interdimensional, multi-dimensional, omniversal being, man. Yeah, that's me. But yeah, I'm feeling a bit loose tonight, guys. I'm out of work. I'm in Osaka, where I should be at. And, I just feel good. It's a nice night, and I feel like wilding out a bit. But look, man, you gotta accept these guys. Back to the drug addiction, man. We all have addictions on some level or another, whatever. It could even be mild, but we all have something that we can't stop doing, that we want to do. Trying to get that light out your face. We all have things that we want to do, man, and sometimes it might be unhealthy for us, but we have to support one another. Like, we live in society now where people don't really give a shit about each other, one another. It's just like, hey, this person's going to do that. Now, we have to be realistic too. It's like, quite naturally, if you don't know a person, you won't be as motivated or feel as obligated to help them. But on the same level, sometimes this is what creates our further problems in society. For example, right? All right, I'll give you guys a really good example on drugs. In Japan has basically a zero drug policy, zero tolerance drug policy. They don't tolerate drugs on any level, anything. You get caught in with a roach in your pocket, and you're done. That's like 10 to 15 years, Now I know people say, well, that's not true, my friend. Look, who cares about you? I'm talking about me here in Japan and what's going on. There's stories of people, and you read it all the time, they get caught with the most minor scale of any type of narcotic, drugs or whatever. And that's it. They're done. They're basically done. You see what happens to their own people over here in Japan. People who claim to be Japanese, they get ridiculed. Basically, if you're Japanese, you get caught with drugs, you're fucked. That's how it is. Your whole life is basically ruined. And it's not that it has to be ruined. It's like, it's just kind of weird system where you get caught with this stuff, and it's almost like systematic. I've been here for some time, and you see the same thing all over again. Let me tell you how it plays out. Person gets caught with drugs. It goes on TV. They make an announcement. They have the person showing them being escorted by the police. Then they show them in a car, in the backseat of the police car, being driven to wherever. And depending on how famous the person is and what their status is in society, it could either go two ways. It could either go, they get ridiculed and bashed and slandered, and then maybe they'll disappear for a while, a couple of months, maybe a year. And then all of a sudden you hear them coming out of rehab, and who knows, they might write a book or something and slowly disappear into the ether, into the background. That's for famous people. People who are not famous like you or I, we get fucking banished completely. And the celebrities get banished too sometimes, depending on, what happens. But you basically get banished completely. Now, in Japanese society, it's a homogeneous country. A lot of people still have group thinking, where it's all about the group. For a lot of people in Japan, the scariest thing is to be ostracized, to be kicked out of the group meaning Japanese society. So a lot of people fear that, of being kicked out of the group. So what happens is, that's basically the punishment. You got caught with drugs, you got caught doing something that does not follow Japanese standards or way of life that others agree with, and you're basically blacklisted. You are put they ridicule people so hard here that the people just end up to the point where you'll never be able to work again, you'll never be able to hold a normal job. You're pretty much just done. And that's how it is for a lot of cats over here. So, and you talk to people and they're like, yeah, but he did do drugs, he broke the law. Look, man, where is the rehabilitation? Where is that? Like, this doctor told me that when people get caught with drugs, well, let's say you have a drug overdose or you get sick, you end up doing some kind of drug. Sorry, guys, moving around. You do some kind of drug and you have to go to the hospital. By law, they have to report that to the police. The police end up coming in, they snatch you up, and now you're being charged and interrogated, and you're basically being your life is being destroyed and systematically being taken apart. And it's like, in the process of all of this, where is the rehabilitation? Where is the counseling? Where is the help that the person needs? And the person doesn't receive that help at all. So unless you got the money and your family's famous and you got a lot of money to back yourself up, where you could just maybe possibly drift off to another country and just disappear from the scene, most people don't have it like that. So you're pretty much fucked and you're done. That's it, the end. There is no real rehabilitation. I mean, yeah, they have rehabilitation here, but it's like, what's the purpose of rehabilitation if you got caught and you've been pretty much publicly, you've been slandered, your name is, dragged through the mud, you're all fucking, they just destroy you, man, to the point where you can never really operate ever the same in society. Even if you did, it's like, what, many years later, how many people could survive like that? What about money? What about work? What about just normal social living? So there is no support system, man. It's all about, well, you did drugs and Japanese people don't do drugs and it's against what we do here, and that's not the Japanese way, and you are kicked out of the group. So this is why it's important for groups like this on the internet or wherever. It doesn't have to be the internet, but just groups that you guys, people can set up for one another, man. A lot of people have been blacklisted. A lot of people have been kicked out unfairly out of whatever group they've been in, whether it's an ethnic group or, societal group or whatever. But a lot of people have been wrongly just had their lives destroyed, man. There's no second chances. Like, sorry, guys, this shit crawling around my nose. Yeah, man. It's like, you don't really... what was I trying to say before, man? Making videos out in public is different, because like when I'm in the hallway, I'm chilling. It's a controlled environment, temperature. Here it's like they got shit crawling on me, fucking cockroaches running around. Get the fuck out of here, man. All right, anyway, back to the story. Yeah, so there's damn, man, this sidetrack. There's this one woman. She's a mom with a kid. She's really good. She looks good. She keeps pacing around, looking at me. See her making a video, trying to take me off track, but she has, because I'm talking about her. Anyway, that's right. Get in that building. All right, look. So you have to be really serious, guys. When people, you got family members that have a drug addiction, alcoholism, it could be any type of addiction. You got to just try to stand by them, man. We all know how it is. If you have family members going through those things, you know how it is. Drug addicts are fucking annoying. They lie, they steal, they cheat, they do all kind of shit. But at the end of the day, they're family. And that's what it comes down to, is family. But that's like your immediate family, right? But you also have family. We're all family, basically, right? On the planet, we all part of the same source. We're all a part of all that is. Now, quite naturally, you won't care much about a stranger. You won't care as much for a stranger as you would your own family member. But then again, some people put more into strangers than their own immediate family members. So, that's proof. Now, who knows what these family members have put them through? Perhaps they've lied so much that, they're at the point of being irredeemable. But I believe in second chances, man. I believe in giving people chances. And when people have addiction issues, that just takes it to a whole nother level. When you have addiction issues, you have to really I hope I wasn't talking the whole time, covering the microphone. I may have. We'll see how this turns out. But anyway, yeah, you have to just try to, I believe in second chances, man. You got to give people a chance to prove themselves. Now, quite naturally, yeah, if people keep fucking up over and over and over again, some people just don't want to change. They don't want to help themselves. They thrive off of lying, cheating, and trying to get over on people. And characters like that, you got to just cut them loose, man. And that includes family members. I'm not saying you got to abandon them. I'm not saying you got to abuse them. But sometimes the best way to help people is to just leave them alone. What it really comes down to is, is that the help, sometimes we want to help individuals, right? But the help that we're offering is not, how do I say, you're not the best person to deliver that message at the time. You know, you may want to help a person really badly and you're giving them advice, you're telling them what they should do or what they could do. But at that moment, at that time in their path, and the reality that they're in, you're not the best person to deliver that message to them. It may be another person. You know, sometimes we get mad, but why? I told him the same shit every day and he never listened to me. And then this guy comes out of nowhere and he changed his life. He listens to what he said. He doesn't even know this person. And that's because that person was the one. The messenger came, you know. He said, when you need help, the teacher will come or the messenger will come. And at that moment, you weren't the person. It wasn't you. Don't get mad. Don't get offended. It's just, it wasn't you. I'll give you a good example. I was talking to someone recently, right? This person has gone through some issues with their family in the past about religious things. Long story short, without going into too much detail, their family was into a specific religion. They didn't want to be a part of it. So they basically stressed this individual out that they had to join. It got so bad to the point where this person almost basically cut their family off, right? So they went through this like kind of ordeal. So one day we were talking, and you know, you guys, you know how I am. I'm not recruiting anybody. I'm not looking for followers. Hey, it is what it is. I just have information. I'm just one of many. I pass information along. If I see where a person is stressed out or they have going through something in their life, I just pass on the information. It's up to you to decide what you want to do with it. So I've mentioned meditation, you know. I was like, well, hey, if you want to, you know, make your life a bit more peaceful, ease some of this stress, you know, and you're saying you're confused on what to do, maybe you should try meditating and stuff. And this was through text messaging. But the person, see, this is why I don't like talking about serious issues through text, because some things could be misconstrued and taken out of context. And the person basically must have thought like I was trying to recruit them into some religion or some shit. And which I don't know why, because this person knows I'm not even on that level of, you know, that kind of stuff. But anyway, they took it the wrong way, and the conversation was like, it ended very abrupt. But the way everything went down, it was like this person made it seem as if I was trying to recruit them into a religion. I was no better than their parents, and it wasn't even like that, man. I was just passing on, you know, I recommended them to try meditating. And I made it very clear at that time that this has nothing to do with religion. Because he was like, oh, I went through this trauma with my mother, and I was like, look, this is nothing about religion, man. This is just, you know, a basic thing that you can do that people have been doing for thousands, if not millions of years throughout, you know, history. And it's really about just clearing your mind. But the person took it as I was a cult leader trying to pull them in something. So things could be misunderstood. And my point of telling you that story was that now another person could come along, another individual, and they could say, hey, you should try meditating. And then they'd be like, yes, you're right. Like over here, they have this, they're calling it mindfulness. Meditation has been changed now. Now people are calling it mindfulness, and they have this whole mindfulness movement. They're putting it in schools and all this. You got to pay for a seminar. Look, man, the shit is free. You don't got to go through all that. But another person will come along that maybe they respect or respect more than me, and that person will say, perhaps you should try mindfulness, my child. And that person will go, yes, you're right. Mindfulness, that's the key. And I'll be sitting in the corner with the face like, my old-time subscribers remember the face. But anyway, yeah, man. So sometimes you're not the one to deliver that message, man. And you can't get mad about it. It's just like, hey, don't take it to heart. It is what it is, man. Maybe, you know, one day they might come back to you and say, hey, what was that meditation stuff you're talking about? And if they do, I'll, you know, tell them, you know, explain it to them and give them some basic exercises. But beyond that, perhaps I'm not the one to give that person that message at this time. So, hey, no sweat off my back. Doesn't matter. Still gonna keep going my way. But, yeah, man, if you have family members that are going through drug addictions or things, you have to just try to support them the best way you can. And if it gets to the point where it's too heavy, you know, I don't want to say leave them alone, because that's, you know, no, it's not easy to do, right? You can't just say, well, I'll just leave them alone. Leaving them alone could lead to death. But there does come a point where when it starts to become mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually taxing to you, you're starting to get sick, or your life is in danger because of this person's habits, you have to, I won't say cut them off, but you have to distance yourself from them for a minute, while still maintain, you know, still keeping an eye on them from certain angles and stuff, and if you could prevent them from hurting themselves or others, you try to cut in and interject. But you got to just distance yourself from them sometimes, man, because sometimes you're just not the one to bring that message to them. And the person has to be willing to change their life as well. You know, you can't, let me make this clear, you can't help anybody with any addictions to recover unless they're ready to make that change for themselves. That's the first step. Well, you know, recognition. Recognize that you have a problem. If the person cannot see that they have a problem, you can have the Pope from the Vatican, Jesus Christ himself, Allah, Buddha, whoever can come down and tell this person you have an addiction. And if they don't believe that, if they can't recognize it, it'll just go in one ear and out the other. So the person has to recognize they have a problem, and then they have to be willing to make some effort on some level to try to change it. But you know, I'm not a specialist, you know, I'm not a health specialist, I'm not a therapist. I'm simply one multi-dimensional being who makes YouTube videos to try to help others out. That's it, you know. So this is my truth, this is my way, this is my thoughts. So please don't, if you have any kind of serious issues, don't jump up and say, well, he gave me medical advice and he said this, this, and that. I'm just passing information along. This is what I believe. But there's nothing wrong with helping people either. See, that's the thing. You don't have to be, as long as you're not trying to prescribe medication to people and things like that, you know, why do you have to be a medical professional to help somebody out? Helping should not be a thing where you have to be a so-called medical professional to help people out. Someone needs help, you need help. If there's a person in the street who falls down in front of you and breaks their leg, you're not going to say, well, I'm not a medical professional, so I can't help you. And you step right by them. I'll be back, I'll get the proper authorities. No, you stop. It's like a reaction, right? You drop down, oh my God, are you okay? You try to help them. You try to ease their pain. And if you have a cell phone, you try to call for help, or, you know, an ambulance, or you call out to someone else for help. But you don't just fucking step over them and say, well, being that I'm not a medical professional, I have to keep walking and moving along my business. You know? But yeah, man. So I'm gonna cut this video here. Yeah, you guys let me know what else you want to talk about, because I'll keep going and going and going on a rant. It's already at 27 minutes, and knowing me, I'll just keep on going. But yeah, I feel good. It feels good to make a video outside of that hallway, back in my town or city where I'm living at here in Osaka. It feels good. And yeah, like I said, man, you guys know I'm back with these videos. I'm coming back stronger than ever. Videos. I'm making a lot. They've been coming out, you know, more consistently compared to before. It was like real sporadic. But yeah, it's really good. You guys let me know what you want to talk about, what you want to hear about next, and I will address it as soon as I can. And let me see, is there anything else I want to touch on? Yeah, see, when I make videos outdoors, I just start talking, which usually for all videos, I just get on here and I just start talking. But when I'm outside, I really would like to have like a theme or an idea before I get out here. Because when I get out here, like, look, I'm from the streets, man. I'm from New York, I'm from the Bronx. So I'm always, I won't say paranoid, but I keep watching and looking around. Anybody moving around me and fucking jumping around behind me or creeping, I gotta keep my eye on them, because I don't trust nobody, man. Because people trying to play you and shit. But anyway, let me get back to the crib. Let me get in the house. But I feel good. You guys got something to look at, something to meditate on. I don't know what I'm gonna title this video, but yeah, I guess I'll title it How Long Can You Astral Travel and Drug Addiction, or Addiction Things. Alright guys, this is set. I'm out. I appreciate all your comments. It's really good. Thank you guys for commenting. Subscribe, like the videos, or dislike the video. You know what's funny, real quick? There's one person, I don't know if maybe it's the same person, who knows, but I've noticed in the past few videos, there's like one person that hits a thumbs down on the list. And, you know, that shit don't bother me, whatever. If they don't like it, they don't like it. But I am curious if it's the same person who's hitting the thumbs down, because it's like, that means this individual watches the whole video. Maybe they don't even watch it. Maybe they just hit the thumbs down. But if the person watches the whole video, each video I make and they hit thumbs down, that's actually kind of funny to me. See, shit like that don't bother me. It's comedy. But anyway, let me go. My beard is starting to get crazy. It's getting a life of its own. It's starting to curl out of control. It's starting to go wild. Yeah, let me get out of here. Alright guys, this is set. I'm out. SUMARI to everybody out there. And let me know what you want to hear about next, later. Oh yeah, now they turn the lights off and give me more of a dramatic mood. Alright, let me get out of here, man. Later.